Okay, this is Mike Soares of Soaresy tenor guitars, and making this little video to show you we made a custom pickguard for one of our custom tenors. Okay, this is going to be a mini tenor, and basically I'm going to show you two tips on routering for a jig to make the pickguard. First one is simple. It's for the pickups. Okay, we're using standard Stratocaster pickups. We convert them into a 4-string, 4 poles. But what we're doing here is, a lot of people worry about these curves on the end. They go out and they buy a template. I have a problem with the templates. They're plexiglass. They tend to chip and chatter, and they don't last very long. So what I do here is I made one out of maple. Okay, and as you can see here, we didn't worry about the curves, the ends on there. What we did was we built the template to fit the pickup from end to end, leaving about 1/2 millimeter. Same thing on the top and the bottom. We left a little space for room. Okay, and this is basically 2 3/4 inches wide by 3/4 inches this way. And what this does is we took the pieces of maple, they're about 1/2 inch thick, I guess, and epoxied them together. Once the epoxy was dry, we sanded them on the top and the back, get them flush, and we ran a bolt, a decking screw, through each side, through all 3 pieces, that's so the router doesn't blow the jig apart. And how this works is, if you use a 3/4 inch router round bit here with the guide on it, when you router your template out, this 3/4 inch bit is not going to go into your corners. It's only going to fit and make the round end. Okay, so you don't have to worry about getting the round in here. This is what we use to get that. So very simple. Just box it around your pickup, glue it together, run a screw in there, get it nice and flat, and you've got your pickup jig for routering your pickups. The next one, I've been fighting with this for a couple of years now, is how to cut out for the switch for a standard Telecaster Stratocaster switch. And what we come up with is this little piece here. Okay, it fits nice and snug. Okay, and it's very simple. All we did here was we took a regular pickguard and we laid it over, we marked out where we wanted our switch to be. We laid the pickguard over that, and we marked for our holes for the spacing for the screws for the switch, and we drilled the holes. Now the most important thing is, when you drill these 2 holes, they're an 1/8 inch hole. When you drill these holes, you have to drill these on a drill press. Something with a nice flat, even, your table's got to be level, even, no sawdust on it. Okay, the idea is that you want to get a perfectly straight hole up and down. The reason for that is, when you insert these pins, this is a 1/8 inch pin, when you put these pins into each hole, it needs to be straight up and down. What I do is I put a piece of tape over this, blue tape. I put the 2 pins into the holes all the way down so that they fit the whole 3/4. Okay, and then what I did was I made, using Corian, I got a piece of Corian at Home Depot, a little free sample, and I made the 2 large blocks here, which are about 3/4 inch, 1/2 inch, doesn't matter really. The idea is you want enough of a base where your router is not going to tilt. So you want a little bit, you don't want this too small. Okay, we place a piece of corian on each side here. Those are 3/16 wide here. That gives you 1.5 inches in the middle, your 2 1/8" bars, and then we did the same thing with the corian on the other side. We made 2 small blocks. Now these 4 blocks here are slightly over 1/8 of an inch. The idea is that you want the 1/8" router bit to be able to run in here smoothly. Okay, so we put the piece of tape on here, blue tape, painter's tape. We put our 2 pins in. Then what we did was we took the one piece here, marked it where the end would be. We put epoxy on one side, epoxy on the other, pushed the block in. We put in our 4 small blocks, and then more epoxy on the other side, and we pushed this whole thing together. So here you've got a piece of corian, small block of corian, 1/8" pin, another piece of corian, 3/16. You got an 1.5" space in between the two for your switch, another 3/16 piece of corian, the 1/8" metal pin, and then just another piece of corian. This is just for support. Epoxy this all together. We cleaned it up a little bit. Then after we did that, we went in, we got a thinner piece of plastic, put a little sandpaper on that, and we used that to clean up any epoxy or anything, and made it so that the bit would slide in there smoothly. Okay, so now all you have to do to use this is put on your plastic for your pick guard that you're going to use. What we like to do is we like to put blue tape over the whole pick guard, use a razor blade, cut it all out. Okay, then do the same thing on our pick guard material that we're going to use. We put blue tape on the back of that. We turn it over, we draw our pick guard onto the blue tape, we cut it with a bandsaw, get it as close as we can to the original shape, and then what we actually do is we take some super glue and we super glue onto the blue tape and stick the other blue tape this way and press it all down and let that dry. It takes about 5 minutes and it's rock solid. You don't have to worry about screwing holes or clamping or using double-faced tape, because that blue tape, when you're finished, will peel right off nicely. So once you have your pick guard onto your jig template here, you go on the back side again, back to your drill press, a 1/8" drill bit, and you're going to drill through the back and make your holes where your pins are going to go. Okay, actually it's these holes here. These other holes are for the volume and the tone. Okay, so we drill out the 2 holes where the pins are going to go. And what we did on here was we actually, where the cutout's going to be, we removed it. We didn't have to be neat about it, because this is just so that all your plastic has a place to fall into. Okay, so by doing that, now you have your pick guard, you have your 2 holes for your template, and this here will fit snugly onto your thing. You don't have to clamp it or anything, because it's nice and tight, it's nice and snug, it's not going to go anywhere. That's why you want to make sure your pins are at least the thickness of your template here. Okay, and then we took a router on a Dremel tool and we routed this out. Put the router in there, 1/8" bit, went across, took out about half, lowered the bit down a little bit, went again. You can do this freehand with a router. You can do, I'm sorry, I left out a step. What we do is we drill out each side here. We go to the corner here and we drill down here. We drill down here, we want to make a hole all the way through the pick guard, so that when we use our router and we place it on here, okay, our Dremel router, we put it right into the hole and we bring the router across. Okay, and we lower the bit down a little bit more and we go across. We make a nice clean cut, And when you take this off, you're going to have a nice clean spot here for your switch. This is the same pick guard here as the jig here. You can see here, this is our switch. It's a little bigger than usually you're going to find. It's an 1/8 inch, but works fine, looks nice and clean. It's not ragged or offset or anything like that. And because I spent the whole day on YouTube looking for videos on how to make this little cutout for the switch, and everybody's showing you how to make the template here, how to router this out, and nobody ever addresses this switch, only if they got a CNC machine or they got some high-end expensive routers that they're using special collars and reducing them down to 1/8. This is nice and simple. You could probably do 100 pick guards with this if you take care of it, and it's inexpensive, and it's a person that wants to make a custom guard, something a little different. You could even use this right onto a wood body. If you wanted to drill you 2 holes, set this, cut your router out the back to fit your pick. But it's a great, easy, simple, easy peasy. Okay, I hope this helps. Again, this is Mike Soares of Soaresy Tenor Guitars, and thank you.